before I end this, because I
Hmm.
don't want to lose all of the footage.
Yeah,
All right.
just let me know whatever you need from me. I've got my little guy napping right now too, so I might have to run upstairs and get him um, if he wakes up. But
All right. All right. All right. So, Sean, tell me a little bit about fatherhood. How you doing?
yeah, doing good. I am absolutely loving it, man. So my wife and I had our first kiddo this past May. So May 3rd, we had our baby boy. His name is Merritt, Merit. Uh, and it has just been the most life-changing thing ever for me, other than, giving my life to Jesus, becoming a dad and becoming a husband and kind of having my own family has been the biggest change. And it's just been an absolute uh, blast. It's been, um, just such a joy. There's so many joyful moments. I mean, I was just upstairs and getting to hold him and kind of rock him to sleep, and I was just so flooded with peace and like gratitude, even though I was, it's like it's 11:53, and I'm like, okay, I have to be downstairs in front of my computer and talking to Daniel in 7 minutes, but I just had such immense peace in that moment, just holding him and while he's like falling asleep in my arms. And then there's the other side of it too, where it's also the most humbling thing I think, ever had in my life through another person, uh, where I just recognize at times I'm like, oh man, I feel really selfish, or, I'm kind of quick to get upset or get frustrated or angry. So, uh, all that to say, it's the best thing, but it's the best thing because it's so good and also super challenging, but in a really fun way.
So, what's a day in the life as a father now? Like, I know that he's tiny still. So,
Yeah.
what's like the most thing have you been more excited about?
Yeah, so the day in the life for us right now, like I said, he is 6 months old. So his little personality is starting to come out, and he's also just very aware of everything that's around him, and he's wanting to engage with everything that is around him at the same time. So I take him with me every day to go to work, which is also super fun. Getting to be a pastor of a small church here in Kansas City, or small, just brand new church here in Kansas City. I get to kind of make some of the rules too. So I don't have like a boss necessarily that tells me like, hey, you can't bring your son with you. And it would just be really hard for us to afford childcare too with how expensive it is. So,
Yeah.
typically a day, I guess a timeline, me and my wife are trying to wake up before Merit, just so that we can spend time together, read some scripture together, and all that kind of good stuff. Thankfully, he sleeps in pretty good. So, for us to wake up before him, her and I are getting up ideally, around 6 a.m., 6:30. And then we will have, around an hour or so together before we really have to start getting ready for work or getting ready for the day. That's what we did this morning, at least. There's some days where we sleep in and we're not so good, but um, at our best, we're getting up a little early, hanging out, um, and then getting ready for the day. He wakes up around 8:30 kind of right now.
Um,
Sometimes he sleeps in until like 9 or 9:30, which is crazy for a 6 month old. We're super lucky. But so he'll get up, we will go and change him, get him ready, get him dressed. Um, he like finally has a good amount of hair now, so we can kind of like style his hair, which is super fun and pretty cute. You'll probably see it. I'm sure he'll wake up while we're talking, and you'll see his little hairdo. But after that, he'll take a bottle. Um, or if I have an early meeting, like I had this morning, then we'll just kind of go straight to wherever my meeting is, typically just a coffee shop here in Kansas City. And then we'll just hang out. He'll take a nap, around noon. I'll try and hammer out some work. He'll wake up. We'll play for a little bit, um, and then eat a little bit more. And then he's starting to be independent, which is cool too. Like he'll just kind of play on his own, which lets me again just try to get some work done because it's hard. It's hard to work when, you've got to
Little one. Yeah.
one, somebody who's just as sweet and as cute as he is, and I want to spend all my time with him. But two, I kind of lied, I guess, at the beginning when I said I don't have a boss who can tell me what to do, because he is my boss and he can tell me what to do whenever he wants. So, when he tells me, hey, come hold me or hey, come feed me, then I'm there. I'm there like that. I'm picking him
Yeah.
up and holding
Yeah.
him and taking care of him. But so it's a lot of just that throughout the day. Hanging out with him, taking care of him, having meetings, um, which he loves those. Like he loves just to be around other people and to love on them too. He's a super sweet guy. And then we sometimes will have stuff at night too with the church. Kind of the way my days break down is into thirds. So I have morning, afternoon, and night. And I'll typically uh, give two of those to the church for work. So if I have something at night, I won't do something in the morning. Or if I have something in the morning at night, I'll just kind of have a chill, relaxing afternoon, or try to at least. Um, and then Cassidy gets off work, my wife, she gets off work, and we'll just come together as a family and kind of relax for a little bit and have a little bath time or something. And then he's off to bed. And then it's just more quality time with me and Cassidy and trying to just really connect well. Because that's the most, between me and my wife and, him and his mom, or me and his mom, that's the most important earthly relationship we have. We have
Yeah.
to, her and I have to love each other first and make sure our relationship is going well and is super solid because that's the best gift we can give to Merritt is a mom and a dad who love each other really, really well, and thus can like love him really, really well and like support him together. So yeah, that's kind of the day in the life. I think you asked me what's like exciting me right now. Was that your other question
Yeah.
about him? Um, he is, like I said, so he's just starting to kind of find his little personality, and he is just a super, super sweet little kid, man. Like I said, he's never met a stranger, People come up to us at the coffee shop all the time, especially like kind of older ladies,
Oh.
like,
Yeah.
people that probably have grandkids, they
Yeah.
just love babies. So
Yeah.
they're always coming up to him and like, oh my gosh, he's so sweet. And he just like kind of scrunches up and like smiles at them. He just learned how to wave. So that's really cool because it's kind of the first communication like we can have with him, that we can like wave to him and he like sees it and knows like, oh, they want me to like wave back, and then he
Yeah.
can wave back. So and then we'll like clap for him, and praise him and be like, good job, buddy, you did it. Like that was awesome. And the thing that just melts me is we'll like clap for him or praise him for waving. And he just like shakes his whole body and like squeals really loudly because he's so like our praise and us telling him, dude, you did such a good job. That was awesome. Like does something so cool inside of him and like and inside of his heart that it makes me emotional just thinking about it. But like, when we say good job to him, like he just kind of squeals and gets so excited that we like see him and recognize him and yeah. So it's really sweet. That's kind of what's exciting me. The things he'll continue to learn. Like he's just going to change so fast and so quickly the next year from 6 months to 18 months. So
Well, that's exciting though. They have a little one around.
yeah, I know. Yeah, it's the best, man. It's the best. Uh, How old is your youngest uh, like niece or nephew, or how many
Well,
nieces and
I have
nephews do you have?
three, three.
Okay,
So you got
that's
this
awesome.
that you got the 8-year-old, 8 or 7,
Huh?
and then you have the 5-year-old, and the 3-year-old just turned 3 in October.
Yeah,
So,
cool.
and she's a crazy one. They're
Yeah,
all they're all crazy at their ages, but they're very into
yeah,
sports and music.
cool.
So but
That's
my
awesome.
my nephew that is into music, he's starting to do piano, so that's kind of cool
Okay,
to have
yeah.
that in the
Is
in the
he the
family.
oldest?
He's the youngest.
The youngest? Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's
And
awesome.
then you got the oldest doing the sports and the all that fun stuff. And then the little one, I got she's just like likes to play with with her animals or with her
Yeah,
dolls.
that's cool. It'll be fun for you guys to be able to play music together.
Yeah. I kind of want to have a song together. That'd
Yeah,
be kind of cool.
right? Yeah, that would
Yeah.
be awesome, man. Did I see that you're kind of coming out with new music soon?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I have it. Oh, this is so fun. So I've been sending out music to KKFI, and
Huh?
they've been playing it, and they're playing my song on Sunday on the 24th,
Okay.
and I'm
Yeah.
excited because it's and it's in the night. It's not during the
Okay.
week during a bad time of the day. It's like
Yeah.
it's 8 p.m. But the last one, it was early, that they played it at 7 a.m. in the morning. I had to get up. I didn't
Cool.
really want to get up at
Yeah.
7 a.m. in the morning. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been working on some new music with different people in Kansas City, and I have a friend in Canada that helped me out with one of the songs. So,
That's so cool.
so it's
Yeah.
really good.
I forgive me if you don't, if this is not what the song's called, but I think you have like a song called Spaceships, or like
Mhm.
Starships or something. Is that right?
Mhm.
Yeah, dude, it is super cool. Like one of the most interesting things I've listened to in a really long time. And I was listening to it with a buddy of mine. Or this is like when I first heard it. So this is, years ago. I told you this. Um, that we both were just listening to it. And one thing I like is, a fellow musician, I like to listen to things that keep me guessing, I guess, or like I want to stay interested in a song.
Mhm.
I feel like a lot of music kind of right now, maybe on the more like commercial side of things, or like the TikTokification of the music has
Mhm.
made it to where it's very like predictable and just like repetitious. Like so
Yeah.
when I listen to your stuff, it feels much more like artistic, organic, um, and just kept me like really interested. I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen next in this song, but I want to know. Like I'm so curious. Like it brought like curiosity out of me. So
Well, I
super
mean,
cool, man. I'm excited to hear
I
your new stuff.
it's still the same. I can tell you the title of the new EP, the new album it's
Yeah.
gonna be Now and Then. So it's an acoustic feel with some of the old
Cool.
songs that are acoustic and some are gonna be new that are not acoustic.
That's awesome, man. Yeah.
But I was when you said about the spaceship. Well, I'm thinking of writing a children's book with all the lyrics to it.
That's cool.
I just need to figure out
That's awesome, man.
how to do it though. So,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
think
I'll be looking forward to that.
that would be a cute children's book because it's all about
Yeah.
space and little things to it. I don't know. Just that's an
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah. Yeah. That'll be cool. I mean, what a that cool thing for you maybe to be able to share with your nephew who's getting into music, and then for you guys to be able to, create some music together someday would be super special. I know that's something I like am so looking forward to with um, Merritt is when I can finally make music with him or play soccer with him. It's kind of the other thing I really love to do in my life, or just have like really deep conversations about faith. And when he starts really wrestling with things and questioning stuff and being like, why is this that way? Like, this doesn't make sense. Like, how can that be true? And
Hmm.
uh, not that I'll have the answers to those questions necessarily all the time, but just to talk with him, right? And
Yeah.
watch him like explore the world is super sweet. One thing we like see him do a lot. If you ever drive down Ward Parkway in Kansas City, it has like trees that like overhang the road, and my wife's car has a little sunroof where he can see through, and he loves trees. Like if you get him around a tree, he's always like reaching for it and just like enamored and captivated by just leaves and branches and trees, everything about it. He loves them. We'll drive down Ward Park, and he can see all the trees just as they're like continuously passing overhead. And his jaw just drops. He's like looking at these trees and he's just like, oh my gosh, this is the coolest thing. It like, I remember the first time I looked up in the rearview mirror and saw his like wonder just looking at trees, like
Yeah.
something so
Yeah.
simple. But he had never seen him before, and especially that in that way. He was so like captivated by it that I don't know, like it made me want that in my life. Like, I want to feel that wonder again, that excitement. So it'll be fun to watch him continue to about the world, um, and everything that comes with it. What was it like the first time you became an uncle?
My
I'm curious
gosh,
about
it was the day I was in college in Delaware at the time, and I was so so proud because I bought this awesome
that.
diaper bag for my brother-in-law, and he had to come over
Yeah,
and get it for me. I said, "This is the I was searching for the right one for you because I know you will use
yeah,
it the most." And it came out of my pocket, and I said, "This is the right one."
yeah.
And
That's
you
awesome.
can do everything with it. You can hook it to the stroller. You could. It came with a changing pad. It came with everything you need, and then
That's cool.
he still uses it, and he also uses it for work. So it's two different
Yeah,
things.
that's awesome.
So
That's a great gift.
Yeah.
I feel like most of the time you get people gifts and they're like, "Oh, thanks. Like that's cool." And maybe they use it for, a little bit, but very rarely I feel like can you give a gift and it's like, "Oh man, I've been using this for years." So, that's a top-notch gift right there, man.
It was my first, it was his first son, and that's Asher.
Mm,
And it was like, that was my first nephew. And also when I was in college and my sister was back in Kansas City, she
yeah.
sent me a picture saying, "Oh, you're the uncle," because the T-shirt already said "Uncle, the best uncle" or something. And I was very
Yeah.
excited and showing it off to all my friends and saying, "This could be you at one point if your
Yeah.
sister had a child or not." But it mostly
Yeah.
all my friends at the time didn't have anybody that had a child. I was like the only one. I kind of felt kind of cool.
Yeah.
Um,
That
but
is really cool. I was kind of the first one, anyone I knew that became an uncle too, because my older brother. So all my brothers were all 7 years apart. So I have two older brothers. So my oldest brother is 14 years older than me. Um, the next oldest brother is 7 years older than me, and my little brother who is he's 7 and 8 years uh, younger than me. It just kind of depends on like when our birthdays hit. Like it's like three
yeah,
months where
yeah,
like I'm 7 years older than him, and then 8 years older than him. Uh, yeah, just depending on the time of the year, I guess. But my oldest brother, since he's 14 years older than me, he had kids when he was, I think I was like 10. So yeah, I mean, he was around my age, like a little younger than me, when him and his wife had their first kid. So not many 10-year-olds have brothers that did. So it was,
yeah.
I kind of had the same thing. Where I was like, oh my gosh, like I get to be an uncle right now, and uh, now my oldest nephew is uh, he's 15.
Well, now he's
It's
an uncle
crazy.
as well. So
Yeah, yeah. Not well. Yeah, yeah. He's like a second cousin. I guess. Big second. I don't know what it is.
yeah,
Genealogy is weird.
yeah, yeah.
First cousin like once removed. I'm like, I have no idea what that is. Never. But uh, it is like he's the same age as I was almost when he's the same age I was when he was born. So I mean, it is very similar. Like, for him to be able to come over and hold and like love him is really cool, really special for
Would you say that you're a pro at changing diapers?
sure. Ooh, I definitely was. Excuse me. Um, Up until probably like 3 weeks ago, I mean, I would tell you I probably could have done it one-handed blindfolded. Um, and Merritt was really good about helping too. Honestly, he would like once they start to grab their feet or
Oh,
like figure out they can grab their feet, they love to do it. So you're changing their diaper and they're kicking their legs up and grabbing them, and it's like, oh man, I don't even have to hold your feet anymore to wipe your butt. Like this is easy.
hmm.
Um, Now he I think maybe he thought it was too easy on us and that we needed a little more of a challenge because now he is like he like arches his back and then like kicks one of his legs up too, if you can picture that while we're trying to change him. He's like almost completely on his side. So I'm having to almost like learn how to put a diaper on when he's like laying on his side and like doing flips and somersaults and uh, but I can do it. I still get it. So I don't know. Am I a pro? I would like to think I'm pretty good at it, but um, yeah, he's making it pretty interesting. Uh, that's for sure. Um, that's like one thing about, now being a dad. Uh, that was different, when you're an uncle is
Yeah.
when you're an uncle and they need a diaper change, you just pass them off, right?
Well, yeah, some of them,
Once you
yeah.
become a dad, it's like, well,
Yeah.
yeah, now I have to change it. I don't get out of it anymore. What about you? Have you become a diaper changing pro in your time as an
Well,
uncle, or are you
it's
more like,
I
I'm just gonna pass them back off to
well, sometimes I do.
siblings?
Sometimes I do. But normally at the time when they were in diapers, I maybe did maybe once or
Yeah,
twice, but um now that they're my niece is getting ready to potty train, it's a different
yeah,
story. But
right.
it's much easier. But they're still dealing with the pull-ups and getting getting done with the diapers. But it's also it was fun
Yeah,
because that I for the podcast I get free diapers, so I could be sending them off
nice.
to them if if I won a giveaway or something, I would just give them
Yeah,
that. But normally now that I have 10% off with Kudos diapers,
yeah,
that's exciting because I can give you the link and you can try them out. You can and it's much easier. So
yeah. We'll have to find out.
I mean
He
everybody.
goes through. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say they're really good, and they have wipes that goes with them too. So yeah.
Nice. Yeah, he goes through. He's gone through a couple different types of diapers since we've had him, where we've gotten them. I don't know what brand we started out with, but we had that brand. I think it was like Pampers or something like
Mhm.
that. And he ended up not really liking those, and someone brought us like Sam's Club diapers, and he really didn't like those. And then we ended up using right now we have Costa membership, so we have Kirkland diapers. He likes them, but you never know. I mean, he may end up not liking them in a week, and then it's like, okay, we got to go find different diapers to use. So
Mhm.
we might have to try those out. Appreciate you sharing the
Oh,
link with us. That's awesome.
yeah. I mean, I would be. It's just nice to get. I mean, the do a lot with diaper companies, and sometimes I do a lot of giveaways with different brands, like toys,
Yeah,
or I do diaper bags. I find the right ones that I really like. That I would love to use it when I have a child. I really want a child,
yeah,
but I kind of want to just get my body fixed and not, but um, I want to adopt. That's what I want to do. But it's gonna take a little longer
that's
to
awesome.
find a good adoption
Yeah,
to deal with. But I did a couple of interviews with people, and we were talking about adoption and giving me ideas and tips and tricks.
yeah,
But
yeah. That's awesome. What tips and tricks did they give you? Because that's something my wife and I may want to do maybe after we have two more um, kiddos biologically. Is we just have felt a real strong kind of conviction and desire. We feel like it's from God to want to go and adopt um, another one or two kiddos ourselves. But what
I
tips and
mean,
tricks
I
are?
mean, I mean, there were so many. There's like so much to it. But I mean, I have a whole video on that, so you can look it up on
Oh,
YouTube,
okay.
and it's all on there. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
but it's
that's awesome.
I want to do it because there's so many kids out there that don't have families and they need a home.
Yeah, yeah. I heard. pretty crazy statistic. Somebody that goes to my church who works with foster care and adoption. That's like the job is if one couple, so one family from one out of every four churches. So one couple or one family from one out of every four churches would adopt or foster. I think maybe it's specifically just foster. Actually. If
Mm.
one couple from one out of every four churches would foster, then there would be no more children in the foster care system. It would be empty,
Wow.
which is crazy to me. And something that I currently I'm about to actually like kind of make a few posts about that specifically and just trying to challenge Christians to think about it. Because I know it's uh, challenging and it's something me and my wife even wrestle with, like, and are continuing to wrestle with is not only with adoption but also foster care because it can be challenging and you're kind of bringing someone else into your family and it might only be for a season, which is really hard
Mm.
maybe on kids, because kids maybe really fall in love with that new person. And ideally, with the foster care system, they go back to their biological parents, right? Their
Yeah.
biological parents
Yeah.
maybe get
Mm.
some issues that they're trying to, or problems they're trying to get figured out. And then the best case scenario is they go, and that can be really hard on kids in your own family sometimes. But then there's maybe the worst case scenario too, where it's like, oh, man, it's like they've gone through some things in their life that are really challenging and hard, and
Mm.
that kiddo's just trying to like process those things, and they don't really know what to do with those feelings, and maybe those feelings then get taken out on your family and your wife and your kids, and how do you navigate that? So really challenging, really hard, but something I think that like I said, if only one family in one and a half of every four churches in America would foster a kid, then we could solve like a really huge problem in
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
country. So, um, yeah. But what made you want to adopt more specifically? I guess
Well,
I know you said kind of just there's a lot of kids that need a home, and it's
yeah.
heartbreaking.
It's
I don't know if
it's
there's
to
like specific
I
story.
mean, I always wanted to do something like this because I always want I feel like that I cannot have kids of my own, so I would
Yeah,
rather adopt or
yeah,
have some maybe when I get married, maybe try to see if the person that I am my partner wants to have a kid together. That would be great, but kind of want to adopt because there's I guess you get the the more I don't know, just something. It just feels good in my heart to do something good for the world.
yeah. Sure, totally. I totally feel that and agree with that. Um, and I think it would, man. So I'm excited for that to happen in your life. I'll be praying for that. That door would be open for you, and you could do that.
I would,
Super special, that your nieces and nephews have such a great uncle though too. That even though maybe you're not their dad, that you still can be like a father figure to them. Just a loving male role model in their life, and
yeah.
um, that's something that's gonna make a really big impact, I think, for them
It's
and who they grow up to be.
it's kind of tough now because it's now that I can't get on the floor with them. I would love to, but now that I'm in a wheelchair, it's totally different.
Yeah,
And it's just hard at times. But
sure.
it's and that's also just like I wanna fix my body first before I have children. So I can
Yeah,
just And I was talking to my mom about this the other day, and she said, I think it's perfect. Get your body all just good before you
Yeah.
do something big. Um, but,
Yeah.
and it, yeah,
What does
it's,
that look like?
I don't even know.
Do
I
you
mean,
need certain procedures or anything or
uh, mostly just a lot of, therapy in my legs because I can't
gotcha.
walk anymore.
Nice. Okay.
So that would
Is that
be,
something that the therapy would be able to like help remedy or fix, or is it more just like figuring out life in a wheelchair and how to do that best?
I mean, I would like to be in the wheelchair, but I've been watching a lot of YouTubers or just people I follow on Instagram, and
Yeah.
there's a dad that's in a wheelchair that got, I don't know, like just in a car wreck or something. I don't know. But he's in a
Hmm.
wheelchair and he has, oh my gosh, how many kids he has is like crazy. And they're so
Yeah.
tiny. They're
Yeah.
but I mean he does it. So just incredible how
Yep.
it does it. That he's in a wheelchair and he's a young guy, but it's just like crazy
Mm.
that he has all those kids.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I think I could
Yeah.
do it. I mean, I think I would need a little help, but I mean, I can do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so. I think, go I know you said it's just it's hard. It's different with, nieces and nephews now that you're kind of in the wheelchair, it just can't do some of the things you used to be able to do or play with them the way you used to play with them, love them the way you used to love them. And I think one thing I um came to peace with is I've entered into fatherhood and or am still trying to come to peace with because I want to give Merritt, everything. Everything he
Mm,
he, wants and needs and just want to be the best possible dad for him and see him have the best possible life and but at the end of the day, like who knows? Like I could, heaven forbid, like be driving to a coffee shop after this, and get in a
yeah,
wreck and
yeah, yeah.
end up in a wheelchair too, like that guy you were just talking about, and not be able to do certain things or not be able to teach him how to play soccer or, I don't know. But, I think the most important thing is I've kind of looked on the important male figures in my life is that they were just consistent,
Mm,
gave me what they had when they could. So,
yeah.
I think even if you're just showing up with your nieces and nephews, they may not get it like at a young age,
Mm,
you know, but it's something that I think, as we grow up, we look back and we appreciate. Like, man, my Uncle Daniel was always there. Uh, like, even though it was hard for him, it was hard for him to maybe get around, it was hard for him to get places, that I was at, do this thing and that thing for me. And he did his best and he showed up. And I just, man, I appreciate that so much. I want to be like him, when I grow up. I want to do that for
yeah,
my kids and my nieces and nephews. And
yeah.
so, give you that encouragement, man. Like, it might be different, but it's still super valuable. And I think it's making a really important impact on them still. So,
Like, what's one of your favorite things that dads should know that they
ooh, favorite things that dads should know. I don't know. I don't, I'm such a new dad. I think it would be hard for me to be like, here's how to be a good dad. But I, I guess so. The thing I'm learning right now, maybe I'll just share it. The thing that I'm like trying to figure out myself is how to be a really good son has become really important for me. My parents got divorced when I was 3, and that just led to a lot of pain, as you can imagine, in my life, and uh, pain with both of my parents growing up, and having to, I kind of put myself in like a problem solver role, even as a very, very young child. Um, and unfortunately, when things like that happen, it can kind of seem like you have to grow up quick, is maybe the thing I like to say.
Yeah.
Um, and I, as I was as Mary was coming into the world, it's just the realization that I think I had, even in my faith, and in the Christian faith, Jesus tells us, he says, well, here's how you pray. Here's how you should relate to God. And the first thing he says is he tells us, in the Lord's Prayer, like, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. And that, father for us in like America and English is like a very like, if you call your dad father, you're not very close with him, maybe, right? Like that's not a very
Mm.
endearing term. But the
Yeah.
word he uses is like the most intimate, it's like our version of daddy, like the most intimate childlike expression you could call it. And that's how we should relate to God, who has been, just the most consistent thing in my life since I gave my life to Jesus. And even in my relationship to him, I was like, gosh, I just don't know how to be a son to you. Like, I don't know how to do that. Um, so that's what I've been really trying to learn how to do right now, is just to be a son. And I think in me learning how to be a son and not worry so much about life, because if I am a son and God is my father, then I just trust him, and I get to live like a child, and just know that he's going to take care of me, and that I'm going to be okay. Or that when he tells me to do something or to not do something, that like a good son should trust him, because he knows what he's saying. He's really wise. He's designed this world and he's ordered this world to work in a certain way that makes sense. Um, Even when I maybe don't feel like I want to do what he's asking me to do, or I want to do something he's telling me not to do, like just to say, okay, like I trust you. I'm going to say yes to you because I believe you love me, you know what's best for me. And if those two things are true, then what you're saying is also true. And I'm finding all of those things to be true. Like, and it's been so beautiful the last 6 months as I've really focused on just be a good son. Um, I realized that I have the greatest father. Um, or if, there's someone listening to this that's like, well, like, that's great. Like, I have a good relationship with my dad, but my struggles are
Yeah.
with my mom.
Yeah.
Like, God has all of those qualities too. Like, the Heavenly Father does not have male anatomy. But Jesus tells us to pray to him as a father. This is a way to like relate to him. So all of those things that we need from our parents are held within who God is. Um, and since I know that to be true, I now know that at my best right now, like I can be Merritt's second best guy. So I'm just, even right now, even though, he doesn't understand what I'm saying, or he doesn't, understand what I'm doing when I'm at work, just trying to show him in everything I do, everything I say, in every way that I react, that he has a better father than I could ever be already. And just trying to push him to know who that father is. If I could have one thing in my life, if I could look at my life 80 years from now and be like, I did one thing, well, the one thing I would hope to do is just to, obviously love God. And a close second would be to love my wife well. And she would know who God is more because of me, and that I would love my son and the rest of the kiddos that hopefully I'll have someday well. And that God would use me, even in the midst of all my flaws and mistakes, to just show them His love and that they would realize how loved they are. So I guess that's what I would say is like the biggest thing I'm learning right now is that, if I'm the second best dad he'll ever have, it takes a lot of the pressure off of me to have to be like the perfect.
Let's see. Do you have like a favorite kind of thing you like to um is there anything new that dad should um use? Have you been finding anything cool that you've been using that
Like a product
yeah,
or
yeah.
something like that. Hmm, that's a good question. Um, Let me see. I don't know if I have where it would be.
Or
One thing that man loves. I don't know if it's new necessarily, but one thing he loves is he's got this little like, chicken mitt thing. That's been really good for him, like while he teas and like it's something he can play with too. So it
mm,
looks like I don't think how to describe it. It almost looks like a little can't think of the word, like an oven mitt almost.
mm, yeah.
So he like slides his hand into it, and then it's got like a little bar that he can wrap his hands around, and then it has like a little chicken face, the little like kind of something on top that he can chew on, and then has like two little arms or like nubs that kind of stick out that he can kind of put in his mouth and chew on. So is an amazing invention. I don't know who created that, but props to them. I also don't know exactly what it's called. But if you Google baby chicken man, I think there's a good chance that it would come up. Um, Other things that we have been using, I don't know. We don't have like too much. We're pretty just simple. Don't have like too many gadgets, I guess. I haven't like looked up any of like the didn't read like any baby books or anything, so I don't have anything that's like super special. I guess when we became parents, we were just like we're just gonna trust our instincts and go with it and um,
Mm.
just keep it pretty uh, basic. Um, his favorite toy, you might like this. This is his favorite toy right now, which I love. That he like this is his favorite. But it's like a little avocado guitar.
Well, that's cute.
Yeah, just like the cutest thing ever. I think you probably can't see the brand, but it's Skip Hop is the brand, which I think is like a pretty popular
Mm.
baby toy brand. But at risk of him waking up, I'll just like he can kind of like spin the avocado pit like as like his strumming, and then obviously all the buttons like you can press them and they just play little guitar riffs. So for any musician parents out there, you want your kids to have hands on something music instrument like early on, would highly recommend Skip and Pop's avocado guitar. It is uh, by far his favorite toy. The other toy he really loves is like a glowworm, which I think those have been around since we were kids.
Mm.
But
Yeah, yeah.
uh, he gets around the glowworm and his eyes just like light up, and he like puts his arms out. He loves the glowworm. So um, yeah, I would say those three things are probably like the three things that man wants them to be all the time. Chicken mitt, avocado guitar, and glowworm.
has any of your dad friends come along? Do you have any dad friends now that you didn't have before?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. So what's crazy is, um, so my wife and I, we got married August of 2023. We got pregnant, or no, sorry, I said that wrong. We got married July of 2023. We got pregnant in August of 2023. So we got married and then pregnant like right away. But it was so cool, even though that's, it's pretty quick. A lot of couples want to be married for a couple of years and just be there for a couple of years. And I think that's a good idea. I think, I wouldn't necessarily recommend getting married and starting your family right away. I think we're, if anything, we're probably lucky that it's worked out so good for us.
Mm.
Um, but we got married, got pregnant. Um, a week before we got pregnant, one of Cassidy's best friends got pregnant. Like a week after we got pregnant, another one of her best friends got pregnant. Like I think a month or two before we got pregnant, two other couples that were like really close to got pregnant. And then like 2 months after we got pregnant, um, another couple that were super close to got pregnant. Um, the other thing that's crazy is that all of those people were like in our
Oh
wedding in July.
wow.
So of like I think we have like 20 people in total, like that stood up next to us for our during our wedding. You
Hmm.
know, two of those people were my older brothers who they're done having kids. One of them was a girl who Cassidy is really good friends with, who's also done having kids for now. Um, everyone else in our wedding party got pregnant and had babies. So it was like it was nuts. It was insane that like literally all of our friends have babies this year. But, just something I look back on and I'm like, man, it was such a for us like a gift of God that Merritt has all these friends now that he's gonna get to grow up with and they're all gonna be around each other and that also for us as parents, like we get to be parents for the first time together,
Hmm.
and celebrate the really fun, cool things, but also get to talk about like the really hard things, um, and the challenging things, and the times it's like, man, like I just feel like I'm really messing up as a parent, and to be there to like listen and support each other is super fun, super cool. So, if there's any new parents in the Kansas City area that are looking for a bunch of other brand new parents, come hang out with us, come to church, and you'll find 6 or 7 brand new parents right there to do life with and yeah, walk with.
Well, that's exciting. I have all those new friends that have kids and being around them and doing things with. It's been nice. I mean,
Yeah, it's fun. It's
I've
fun.
been doing a lot of been a part of doing well, I've been doing best buddies for a while. So that's what I've been up to
Yeah,
these days. Just still doing best
that's
buddies.
awesome.
And I'm the leader of the chapter here in Kansas City. So if you know anybody that has a
Nice.
disability, send them my
Yeah,
way. Um,
I will. You know what's funny? I was a place called Equinox Coffee in
mhm.
Kansas City, like Lenexa area, and this was right after marriage. So this was like June maybe, but I saw a guy there wearing a Best Buddy shirt, and it immediately made me think of you because I heard of them through Facebook or your Facebook, um, and went up to him and I was like, is that like the organization that pairs people with disability up with like someone else just for a relationship and friendship? And he was like, yeah, how do you know about that? Because it was like only on the East Coast. and he kind of thought that too at the time.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. I was like, I know a guy that was a part of it over in Delaware where you came from, and but I don't know if it's here yet or not. So when did it start? That's super cool to hear that it's
Well,
in Kansas City now.
it's it took forever. It took like a couple of years ago, like last like 2 summers ago, it started back up, and then it took us like last year. Um, I will. Last year I became champion of the year, so that's great. Um,
Nice.
but it's I did the gala, raised all the money, and it's amazing how I raised all that money. All my friends from the East Coast like kind of sent me the money and like helped me out with
Yeah, that's
the
awesome.
fundraiser. But then last year, our two leaders got fired for I don't know what, and then
Hmm,
we kind of stopped, and then we went back at it and just tried it again. And now I feel like now this chapter is much bigger, and we have about
that's
maybe
awesome.
10 people, 10 buddies, but we're still looking for peers to have relationships with other people. And then
Okay,
we have a event coming up in December. We're going to the train station to see the lights. So
nice.
that's exciting. Um,
Yeah,
and then last week, last and in November we had Friendsgiving, and that was at my sister's house.
cool.
So I mean, it was fun
Nice.
being around the group and trying to still grow
Yeah,
it. But yeah, it's nice to have a chapter here. I always wanted a chapter here. That's why I started it. So,
yeah, that's great. Yeah, I'll definitely keep that in mind. Is there a website or something that I could send people to?
well, you can send them through me, and then I'll send them through the
Okay.
leader in St. Louis because she mostly works with us, try to help us with other things. Um, but we do every event every other month. So like next year we'll be
Nice.
doing one in January after December.
Cool. I love that. Yeah, I'll keep that in mind. I wish I had known about it. I think I have to go back and look. I know I gave my contact info to I think his name was John. I gave my contact info to John. I don't know if I got his though, so I'll have to go back and look. And if I can find it, I'll connect you to him.
All right, all right. And do you remember a long time
Yeah.
ago when we were talking, you knew my next door neighbor at one point, and he had a learning disability.
Remind me who that was.
Well, I forget his name, but he had he was maybe autism or all.
Hmm.
He's a different color. It's a little dark. He was in
Yeah.
best.
Oh, yeah. If
Uh,
you can think of who it was, I'm trying to kind of think of it right now. Um, I bet we talked about it on Instagram,
well, I think
which
you
I can't
met.
go back
Yeah.
and look at now that I don't have Instagram anymore.
Well, I think you called me or something. I don't know, or messaged me. I don't know about it, but you said something. You met a guy that I knew. He was in the disability class or something. I know that you didn't take any
Hmm.
disability classes, but you might even know the guy.
Yeah,
But
probably. So I used to do. Um, I was involved with the Special Olympics from the time I was in sixth grade until I graduated high school, and then I only stopped because I just didn't have time on Thursday nights, which is when they always had their practices.
hmm,
But I'm trying to think if it was maybe someone I knew through there.
it may
Really?
be.
I can't remember right now. It's
It,
gonna come to me right when we
and
get done.
yeah. Well, you can
Yeah.
text it.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's something. It's so fun that his fa his well the other father that was next to me, that when I was living in the up north, he used to be the boss for Winstead's. But
Oh, nice.
his kids were too young to know me because they were
Yeah.
already, and I was already gone. But um they mostly, it was just nice to have somebody that worked at Winstead at the time, because that was a popular place when I was in high school.
Yeah.
Everybody went up there and got something on Friday nights.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that would be a good person to know, man. Winstone's burgers and or malts and shakes and fries. That's some good food right there.
Yeah, yeah. There is. Do you have a
So
favorite?
were you living
Oh, when
were you living up north when the person I know was it
uh,
North River?
it was up North River, but I think I moved back to the on this side of Kansas at the time.
Yeah.
But um but yeah, I did. I mean, he was my next door neighbor for real. I mean, he was right next to the door. So my house was here, his house was there.
Yeah.
He also came out, like most of the time he would be with his brothers and sisters. They would be on in the backyard playing in the on the playground, like the little swing
Yeah.
sweat set at the time.
Huh.
But it was kind of interesting. It was mostly my neighborhood was mostly like, there's a girl behind the house. She went to school with me. And then there was another kid that
Yeah.
had a disability. Or down the street, there was another girl that I went to school with. I mean, it felt like living in the Northland. Everybody went to the same school, or
Yeah.
went to the rival school, like Park Hill
Yeah.
South. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
kind of something different, but it was so cool.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. No, I love the Northland. I like I like South KC too, South Lee Summit, Johnson County, Leawood, Lenexa has they got a lot of fun stuff, but I think I'm a Northland guy through and through. Myself, if I was going to live somewhere in Kansas City, I think I would always kind of live up north.
Yeah, I mean, that was fine at the time. I just, when I moved out here, it was because I needed to follow my sister, and I
Yeah,
did, and I also went to college in the East Coast. I never thought I could do that, but I did. It was there for a 2 year
yeah,
program, but I didn't make it. Like, it was too expensive. But I made it through
sure.
one round of college, and I just kept.
That's awesome.
But I stayed down there because of Best Buddies and the radio station. Because I was mostly on the radio
Yeah,
station all the summer. So I had
sure.
this.
That's
That's
awesome, man.
why. That's how Two Guys in a Sound System all came along.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
and
I love it, man.
then I started Uncles and Fatherhood in college, and then I just wanted to have a place for dads and just learn about fatherhood, because at the time my father was gone. He was in heaven. So
Hmm.
it would be
Yeah.
hard to
Oh, sorry to hear that.
deal with. But I mean, I was thinking about
Yeah,
this the other day. I was thinking that would be cool to have had a show with my dad, but at the time when he was alive.
yeah,
But now it's just like, it's kind of nice talking to other people to learn more about fatherhood that I didn't get to
yeah.
do. do.
Hmm. Absolutely, man. Yeah, that's really cool. I didn't know that about your dad. I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh,
I'm sure
it's
that would be tough.
yeah, it was a tough time around the high school years, but it's
Yeah.
everybody had their own situation at that time. But
Yeah. Yeah.
it's totally fine. It's like I'm still dealing with the like most of the songs I've written in college. Yeah, there's some songs in there that are dedicated to him, and um that was going through at the time. And I also had one story. It's called True Story. That's on the full length album
Hmm.
on Apple Music. If you go on there, it's also on SoundCloud too. But um, I wrote that song about my whole experience in the hospital or my health
Mm,
condition. So um, so that's kind of a good song, and it's also all piano, and I kind of. But Spaceship all came. I sent that out to my friend, and he did all the work for it. And then when I got it back, I was in the hospital when I got it back. And then I said, "My gosh, we're
mm,
gonna have to do something with this song. This is amazing." I don't know if I had
yeah.
all the lyrics that came to my head at the time, because I was all the way
Yeah.
in the East Coast. But now it's trying to find some new ones to throw out to the world. I do have a couple of good ones that will be on the EP or the album, so that's kind of
Cool.
good. Are
Yeah.
you? Are
I
you?
love that, man.
I'm happy that you love Spaceship because I haven't heard anybody
Yeah.
else.
Yeah, that's a good one.
A lot of people
Absolutely,
like
man.
Ocean or Beautiful Girl. Um, what's another one I really liked? I worked on. Oh, I found out Ocean is mostly like a love story. I sent that out to a friend of
Hmm.
mine the other day because she's getting married and she asked me to be on her video of like her wedding video. And I said, well, you can use Ocean, the
Nice.
song. So hopefully
Yeah.
she can put it on her video thing. I don't
Dang.
know.
That's an honor, man. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Yeah, for someone to want you to be on their wedding video, I mean, that's like one of the most important memories like someone people will have in their life. So for them to
yeah.
want your song to be on that, that's special.
Yeah. So before we go,
That's cool, man.
um,
Yes.
do you have any um do you want to say anything before you want to go where people can check out your church or um
Yeah. Give myself a little shameless plug
yeah.
on what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Um yeah, I mean the church is like the biggest work that I have in my life, I guess, that would invite people into. So it's Belong Community Church. We meet every Sunday at 11 p.m. in the North Kansas City YMCA. You can, if you're curious just to learn a little bit more about us, our website is belongcommunity dot church. I would plug all of my socials, but like I guess briefly mentioned when we were talking about the person that we both know that you still have next to you, like I don't have Instagram anymore. I'm getting ready to get rid of my Facebook, so I mean the only place to really find me publicly is just to show up on Sunday morning. And but I would love to, hang out with anyone, talk to anyone, anything I can do for people. If I can say yes to it, I'm pretty quick to give my time, any resources I have to people. So that's about it, man. I mean, I love Jesus. I love our church. I love the people at our church. And if anyone's curious, we would love to get to know them too. So, yeah.
Well, the other thing I wanted to say to you, whatever time we have
Yeah.
time, I would love to work with you and get some music out there as well with you. Maybe we can collab together on
Yeah, dude, that'd be
something.
fun.
Um, because I'm
Yeah.
always trying to figure out some new ways to branch out to get some different types of music out there.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing I guess that, our church is pretty small. Like I said, we just planted it September of 2023. So we've only been around for around a year. I think for kind of where our church is at, we have especially like above average worship and music,
Hmm.
um, which is one of the primary things I lead for the church. And we've been writing songs all year long. So we probably have, I don't know, 8 or 9 songs right now that we've finished and we've been playing on Sunday mornings. And we're going to get ready, hopefully, to record and do some stuff in Kansas City just to like play them at kind of non-church venues.
Hmm.
Would love to play, up north at the Rhino and just invite people to hear really good music that's also, written for like a sacred space like church, or like a
Hmm.
record bar would be really cool. But I'll have to send you some of those songs just to get your kind of thoughts and opinions. There's nowhere you can find them on Spotify right now. Like I said, if you want to hear them, you got to come to church on Sunday. But I'll send them to you kind of because eventually they will be on Spotify and all those places while we kind of fine tune them and refine them a little bit. But yeah, I'd love to get your ideas and input, and maybe you can take some of the spaceship magic and bottle it up, and then put it into some of our music for us. That way, we could keep it interesting and fresh. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I mean, I'm trying to. All my music is on every platform you would think. I mean, it's on Bandcamp, it's on SoundCloud. What else? It's
Yeah,
on the free ones you can download, or you can get them on Amazon or Spotify or Bandcamp.
yeah,
I mean, it just I just love sharing the music. I don't do shows, but I mean, I just like creating and loving what I do is just to support, and I don't know.
yeah.
But I mean, I love what I
I love it.
do. I mean, I book bands on
Yeah,
the side. So, I mean, I do a lot of charity events around here in Kansas City. And I love doing that. So,
yeah. So awesome, man. No, you're killing it. You're doing a great job.
thanks for coming on. And I will let you know when this is all up, and I'll add some things out.
Awesome.
And and I'll let you know when this is all up and on YouTube or
Yeah,
whatever, and I'll send it off to you. And but
perfect. Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it.
oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. This is going to be a great
Awesome.
interview, and
Yeah,
something different because everyone is different from what I've interviewed in the past. So everyone has a
yeah,
different story to tell.
yeah, yeah. So good, man.
All right, I'll let you go so you can get back to the baby. Um,
Yeah.
and
He slept the whole time. He's still sleeping. Praise God. So
yeah. Well, before you go,
awesome.
what's your favorite restaurant? What's
Yes.
your favorite restaurant in Kansas City to like to go to? Do you like barbecue?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Love barbecue. My wife is addicted to Slaps barbecue right now in KCK. So that's a go-to one. Up north of the river, I think we have some of the best hamburgers in Kansas City at Tay's Burger Shack. Um, and then there's a new chain of restaurants kind of all throughout Kansas City uh, called Meddy's, Meddys, Meddy's restaurant. If you like uh, Mediterranean food, it is insane. I get the garlicky chicken every time I go. We got it 10 different times now. It's, yeah, so good.
That's good.
And for ice cream, I'll give you one more. Ice cream, the best ice cream in Kansas City is High Hopes ice cream.
Oh,
Like 60th and Troost, right in between Rutgers and UMKC. Uh, yeah, they're 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 the greatest, nicest people in the world. Best ice cream in Kansas City. It's a place everyone has to go check out.
well, that's a that sounds great because there's a lot of cool
Yeah.
ice cream shops here in on the other side of Merriam, but I mean, you got so many really. There is one ice cream place I'd like to go because they make homemade ice cream, and it's
Ooh, okay.
the building is like a outside, like the building is like a um gas station, but it's not a gas station. It's just the building looks like a gas
Yeah,
station. Um,
yeah. What's it called? Do you remember?
no,
That's okay.
but I mean
Yeah, go check out High Hopes.
and I think you'll like it because I'm gonna try it out when I'm
Yeah,
down that way.
I'm telling you, I've had Andy's. I love Andy's. I've had Betty Ray's. I love Betty Ray's. I've had Fairway. I love Fairway. I've had Sugar Rush here in KCK. I've had ice cream after ice cream after ice cream. There's nowhere that is better than Oaks. So yeah, you won't be disappointed.
Well, that's awesome. Well, I'll let you know when this is all up later today, and hopefully you have a
Awesome.
great day. And let me know when you ever need something. I'm also gonna send you that link for the Kudos diapers, though. You can get the 10% off.
Awesome. Thank you. Cool.
All right. Well, I'll talk to you later, and I'll see you soon.
See you, Daniel. Thanks.
See you later.